thank you very much for that suggestion, but my magician Amanda has corrected the problem,
Okay,
and we are going to
perfect.
get started. So
All
I
right.
appreciate
Good.
everybody that is listening to this. I appreciate your patience for us being just a minute or two behind schedule. And I'm glad that everybody that's here is listening today can join us. If you're listening to this recorded, welcome, and we're glad that you are taking a couple minutes to hear about what senior living options are available in Charlotte. If you're listening to this, we hope that you are either potentially considering, what changes in your lifestyle as a senior citizen, or perhaps you are a family member of someone that is approaching the time where it is time for them to make a change, whether that be downsizing, whether that be looking at different healthcare options. We're here to talk about those things today. Erica and I are your hosts today, and move forward here. All right, and the SRES after my name stands for Seniors Real Estate Specialist, which means I've gone and gotten specialized training from the National Association of Realtors to work with people that are seniors and to understand the legal, healthcare, familial issues that come up with folks that are in that demographic. I also run my own team. So the Wachter Group has been around since 2013. We are a team of agents, our photos there, that are work under the banner of JPAR Carolina Living, which is our real estate firm. We are licensed in North and South Carolina. And I did, after being in real estate since about 2004, last year also became part owner of the JPAR Carolina Living franchise in this area. And with me today, co-hosting, is Erica Wright. Erica is on our team, and she is also a seniors real estate specialist. Anyone that has any questions or needs any assistance in this topic is welcome to work with Erica and call her, and we're both there, ready, willing, and able to help.
Hello, everybody.
All right. Today's presenters, here's a list, and we're going to go through them one at a time. Donna Franklin from Crestwind Coulter Homes is here talking. Scarlett Gordon from Sage of Highland Creek. Ryan Barkley with Windsor Run. Carrie Dunlap from Walton Wood Providence. Brianna Stewart from The Social. Phil Koch, owner of Senior Retreat, and Todd and Lori Vercan from Care Patrol. We are all going to work together and will be available to answer questions. At the end, we will collect questions. If you're watching on social media, we'd love for you to type in a question into the comments field. We'll be recording them. We'll be handling them at the end and make sure we get individual questions answered to you directly. If you're watching this recorded, please just send us a message or give us a call. All right, at this point, I'm going to introduce Donna Frankie Franklin from Crestwind of Charlotte.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well and enjoying this beautiful fall weather. I've been in the business for over 32 years. I've been with Crestwind Charlotte for about since 2017. I opened this community and have always had the dream to, in my retirement, to complete a project like I'm doing now, 55 or better active adult single family homes. And I just really enjoy it. And what I wanted to talk to you all about today is why would a family member decide to right size in an active adult single family home? There's all types. What we use is we have a detached home on land, fee simple, that you own. It's low maintenance, amazing, beautiful. I call it a cruise ship on land, our amenities. Most of them do have that. You can finance it, pay cash. Interest rates are so great right now. A lot of people are saying, why would I do a financing versus, why would I do pay cash versus financing? There's also all type of alternative financing, reverse mortgages, and we have people in our office can talk to you about that. But one of the things I just want to kind of touch on is when you decide to make the decision, usually it's yourself, your spouse, or maybe family members feels like it's going to be a better choice. And we say 55 or better, and we're going to right size you in a home. We have 9 different models out here at Crestwind, Charlotte. And those 9 models are there for a reason, right? We want to get you in the home, see how that home lives, right? How you live now versus how you're going to live in the future. So you have 9 homes, beautiful homes to choose from. We also like to talk about our pillars in our community. You want to make sure that whichever community you choose, that you want to understand what are their pillars. Ours in Crestwind, Charlotte is nutrition, right? We train you on better eating habits. Your fitness is all about getting out there. We have walking trails, state-of-the-art fitness center. We have fitness coaches. And the most important thing is by that time, you've probably lost maybe friends or friends have moved away that you had for 30 years and they're with their grandchildren, maybe in different states. But it's about building relationship, rebuilding a sense of community. And we are we have that system down pat. Our community is set up where the nutrition, fitness, and building relationship makes it easy and take the overwhelming decision out of moving from one location to another easier, okay? Gives you ease of mind for you, your children, or any family members. It also, you say, well, why would I move? I have a beautiful home. I enjoy it. It could be, I'm tired of stairs. I don't want to maintain the lawns anymore. It's harder to maintain. So when you choose one of our homes, you're going to not only, you don't have to mow your grass or maintain your grass, you eliminate stairs and it's easier to maintain. We have an amazing 18,000 square foot club. It has everything you can can imagine. Indoor, outdoor pool. Outdoor, of course, is like resort style. You're indoors for laps and exercising. Our club is like a country club. Social activities for your residents. We have a full-time lifestyle director. Concerts are kind of our thing, indoor and outdoor concerts here at Crestwind, Charlotte. And the most important thing, I believe, is that we have great partners in the Novant Mint Hill Hospital, right next door to us in walking distance. Wonderful partners. They train on keeping well, wellness, keeping healthy, and they do all sorts of things with our residents. I invite you guys to come out and take a look at our 9 models, right? We have 11 plans. We just added 2 more plans to our lineup. Our beautiful club is now open, all right? There's some restrictions during the COVID, but it's starting to open up easy. Missed a fabulous concert past Sunday. We invite you to come out. Our HOAs are $249 a month. What that includes is maintaining your lawn. It also, front and back, your lawns are fully irrigated. It takes care of your Spectrum cable, internet, security system, and gives you full access to our resort style club. Pending any questions? Mm-hmm. Robert.
Thank you, Frankie. We appreciate you doing this. You did a great job of explaining that. And I've had the privilege of working with Frankie repeatedly over many years. And we've worked with a number of clients moving into Crestwind. Everybody has been super duper happy. The idea of walking away from the maintenance of a house somebody's been in for 30 years is a little scary at times, but I've not yet had anyone call me and say, I wish I hadn't done this. Mm-hmm. It's really terrific. And the bottom picture there shows, I believe, their lineup of model homes. They've got a tremendous street where you can just walk down the street and check out the different models. Mm-hmm. So Frankie, appreciate you taking the time today, and hopefully you can stay around for some questions at the end.
Sure, absolutely.
Super, thank you. All right, next up is Scarlett Gordon, and Scarlett is here to talk about Sage of Highland Creek, or she's from Sage of Highland Creek. She's here to talk about what an active adult apartment home is like. and what the features and benefits of that might be. Scarlett, thanks for joining us today. Scarlett, are you still there?
Oh, she's muted.
Oh. Scarlett, we need to unmute you.
Okay.
There you are.
Rob, you had muted me, so I didn't know if I could unmute myself or not because the host muted me. But thank you so much for asking me to join you today to be part of this town hall. I appreciate the opportunity. As Rob said, I'm here to talk about active adult living rental communities. It's a fairly new concept and an option in senior housing. It's targeted to seniors who are active and independent, but no longer desire home ownership. The main attraction is living with other seniors their age, and there is no monthly maintenance fee, no HOA dues, and no buy-in. These active living communities typically do not provide medical care, transportation, housekeeping, or laundry, but you certainly have the option to arrange a la carte services for the care that you need through in-home care, ride-sharing services, housekeeping, and laundry, etc. The big attraction to this lifestyle is the carefree active lifestyle. Typically, these communities such as this offer planned activities and events that are inclusive in the monthly rent. Activities could include things like a pool with water aerobics, happy hour, movie night with popcorn, wine and cheese parties, and activities such as that. As Rob mentioned specifically, I'm from Sage Highland Creek. We are an active living community located at the entrance to Highland Creek subdivision, which is a large planned community. We will have 184 apartments offering 7 different floor plans. These include 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 1 bedroom plus den, and 2 bedroom plus den. We offer a pool, a pickleball court, a clubhouse, 15,000 square feet with Wi-Fi throughout, a game room, and a number of planned activities and events. Our 1 bedrooms start at $13.68 per month, and all activities are included. I like to say it's like a cruise ship without the water. If you would like to tour our community for yourself or for a client that you represent, please give me a call at 704-497-1330, and I would love to schedule a time for you to come in and visit with us.
Super. Scarlett, thank you very much. And I just want to clarify, did you say starts at 13 something?
1368.
Wow. I was recently in a studio apartment uptown of a friend who's paying significantly more than that for about 600 square feet where their bed is in the living room. So that's remarkably affordable. That is terrific to know. Super.
Thank you, Rob.
Scarlett, thank you. And now, if you remember to unmute yourself, the next up is Carrie Dunlap. And Carrie is the Senior Marketing Manager at Walton Wood Providence. Carrie, welcome, and we thank you for taking your time today to talk about independent living.
Absolutely, and I appreciate you, again, arranging this town meeting and forum. I'm going to take a few minutes to, again, talk about the independent living types of communities in the area. I always represent independent living like a supportive lifestyles type of community. This is, again, a little bit different from some of the other ones that were just mentioned, knowing that, again, the features and benefits of the community. Again, be adventurous. Look for new hobbies and interests. You all have worked so hard with your careers, raising families. So many times I hear about folks, you know, they've never had time to maybe do a cooking club or join a book group or whatever that may look like. Again, treat yourself, be adventurous, challenge yourself to do new things. If you remember anything, again, please take time for yourself and enjoy your life. Things that we offer for our residents at the community, we have a maintenance-free lifestyle. And that basically means anything with maintenance that you would have with a home, maintaining a yard, taking care of broken appliances, etc. Let our maintenance team take care of that for you. If you want to go on a vacation, visit family members, all you basically have to do is lock your door and take that worry away. The mailboxes are inside the community. You don't have to worry about who's going to pick up your mail, pick up your newspaper, etc. And that kind of segues into the housekeeping services. You don't anymore have to run a vacuum, dust, vacuum, scrub out bathrooms, kitchens, etc. Let our fabulous maintenance team and housekeeping team take care of that for you. They also do things like linen changes. Sometimes, again, changing the sheets on the bed and so forth are a little bit difficult for folks with back issues and so forth. So again, let us take care of that for you. We also offer great restaurant style cuisine. I know recently in the last several years, a lot of the senior living communities have recruited top talent for their culinary programs. Our executive chef is from the hospitality industry. We also have pastry chefs on staff, sous chefs, etc. Again, they're using new meal planning with seasonal fruits, fresh fruits and vegetables, offering, you know, holiday menus, and even talking to the residents about perhaps cooking one of those recipes that they miss from home. Maybe they don't cook anymore, but they would love to see one of those home cooking style recipes that they're familiar with incorporated in our menu. So again, you've got some of that flexibility as well. The other thing that we wanted to talk about, health benefits, again, are key. We do have a wonderful fitness center. We have a putting green, a bocce court. We do have a personal trainer that offers strength and balancing classes. We bring in a Tai Chi instructor. And another benefit of a lot of the independent living communities is they partner with a therapy group. For us in specifics, we partner with one of the groups. They've been with us for 6+ years. They do a phenomenal job. Again, sometimes folks are a little bit hesitant about trying a new exercise schedule or program. They can provide speech, occupational, and physical therapy services. So again, that is wonderful. A lot of those costs are billed through Medicare. Just depends on your insurance, etc. And then the socialization is huge. A lot of folks, again, are isolated at home. They may have depression. They may be lonely. So again, get out and meet some of your new wonderful neighbors, have a meal with your neighbors. You'd be amazed. This really is a small world. We had a couple of folks connect that actually knew each other from up north, and one was an art teacher for their grandchild. So how unusual is that? You never know who you might just meet around the corner. So that is just great. The other thing that we have is that we have a wonderful life enrichment team. Again, a lot of the communities, as been mentioned, that is key as well. Again, take the advantage of those new activities, events. Again, take a conversation with those folks too, and ask them, can we go to this museum? Can we go to this ball game? Can we do these things? And again, they can incorporate that into the schedule as well. One of the things with the supportive lifestyles, I think that helps the family is we do have a daily check-in system. Again, it's a lot of the communities do have some type of daily check-in system with a pendant, as it's kind of like similar to a life alert system. So again, that goes to a lot of the communities, front desks areas. They'll check on the residents, etc. So that again gives residents peace of mind for the families. And then take advantage of the courtesy transportation that a lot of the independent living communities do offer. Let us take you on, you know, a trip out to going to grocery stores, to doctor's appointments, etc. We use our gas. You don't have to worry about wear and tear, fighting traffic in town, etc. So again, take advantage of those things that are offered. They literally drive up to the front door, so you don't have to park and walk. It's again, much easier lifestyle in that. And I just want to, again, touch on my personal story with my own mom. She moved to an independent living community in Florida, was there for 6.5 years, isolated, and she was lonely in her condo, and she just met a wealth of new friends, had a great time going to museums and to theater productions and so forth. So again, there's so many things that independent living communities can offer. Just to talk a minute about Walton Wood Providence, we have 91 independent living apartments. We are a rental community. We have 53 assisted living apartments and 20 memory care apartments. So if somebody starts with us in independent living and at some point they need that higher level of care, it's right here on the same campus. And again, we've started, over 6+ years ago. We're celebrating the end of October, our 6-year anniversary for independent living. and assisted living at our memory care community 5.5 years. We have been a deficiency-free community as well. So again, just reach out to us if you have any questions. And again, I appreciate the opportunity to talk about independent living communities. Take advantage of all the services that they offer. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Carrie. I really appreciate that. Your story hit home. My father as well, when he moved down to an independent living section of a community. I think he ended up with more friends in the last 5 years of his life than he had in the first 60. He was more popular than I ever expected, and used to love to hear the stories of all the social events. So I hear that. Thank you for taking your time today. Appreciate that. Now we're going to invite Brianna Stewart up from the social at Cotswold. And Brianna, we'd appreciate your opportunity to talk with us today.
Absolutely. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having me, Rob. Today, I am going to talk about assisted living options as well as memory care options in the Charlotte area. And really, a lot of things that are included in independent living are also included in assisted as well as memory, with some added care features. So assisted living is going to be personal care management. That's going to include help with ADLs. So that's going to be your bathing, your dressing, grooming, toileting, and some supervision with any of those. Also help with medication management and maybe finances with paying bills. And the main piece that really can kind of separate assisted living from independent in a lot of ways is that it includes more encouragement with socialization, which can be really key. Especially with some of our residents that we find that maybe were in independent for quite some time, and now they are isolating themselves and they need that extra nudge. So that's why they are looking at assisted living options that has that 24/7 care piece. One of the things that assisted living has is going to be 24/7 care with team members that are trained in helping with ADLs, as well as emergency call systems. So we're going to have pendants that all of our residents will wear at all times to help with anything that they need assistance with. Our apartments are going to range from studios to 1-bedrooms. The idea behind that sort of formatting and it not being a large space, because we want to encourage our residents to be out and about. I want them to think of this as one room in one really large house. So I want them to be out and about and utilizing our dining area and socializing, getting involved in our calendar of events, and not really worry about anything else. That's the key. Including breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as snacks throughout the day, so they don't have to worry about cooking. Housekeeping, and that's done weekly for a lot of places, as well as laundry, that will be included. We've got a very extensive activities program that's going to be specifically designed for assisted living. So that can range from chair aerobics in the morning with all of our ladies in a circle. That can be happy hour that we do. That's going to be a walk in the park. So it's really tailoring these activities to what our residents want and still keeping them engaged, even if they need some help with care. Scheduled transportation, that is included. That is going to be for doctor's visits, for things of that nature that they don't have to worry about. We also will have on-site beauty salons or barbers. I like to unisex that. So we've got both here. And that's a really nice feature to have, so they don't have to leave to get their hair done. And we know how important that is. These are, of course, assisted living communities are regulated by the state. You can always check our survey scores online and get real life information on each community that you're researching. The one thing that's also different is going to be the nurse oversight. A lot of places will have it 24 hours a day, some may not. That's something that they can kind of choose at their own, at the community level. Private pay is going to be the vast majority, I would say, of assisted living as well as memory care communities. A lot of us will use long-term care policies, or we'll look into veteran aid and attendance. So you want to really find different avenues of financials if that is a barrier. That is our job, is to find out how we can help make it happen and have them come stay with us. There are communities that do accept Medicaid as well. So it's always good to have an idea from the senior industry side on who they are, so you can send those referrals out and still be the expert for the families. Some are going to offer inclusive pricing, not quite as many. I would say the vast majority of our assisted living and memory care communities are going to offer a base rate. And then after an assessment is performed by the nurse, they will add on a level of care for those charges. There's also another option called the point system, where depending on your care needs, you will get an additional charge for that. And the next is really kind of diving into the difference between memory care and assisted living. One of the main differences is that there's a higher level of daily supervision for our residents that have some form of diagnosed memory loss. So same sort of structure, but we've got some extra safety pieces in place. One is going to be, of course, that we've got team members that are available 24/7. We've got that 24/7 care model still with CNAs, med techs, and RNs. But we also have everyone trained in dementia. A lot of places will look at NIDE, which is the National Institute for Dementia Education, as a great option to have everybody go through in your team. Nurse oversight, as well as 24 hours a day in some places. Apartments are still going to be your typical studio. Some have 1 bedrooms, but I would say the vast majority is going to be studios. And again, you want to keep their space small and keep it familiar, so they are going around the community and not staying in their apartments. Again, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as hydration checks and snacks are available at all times. Housekeeping and laundry. The one other piece that I'll point out for memory care is going to be that there's smaller ratios of team members to residents. And that's going to be really key because you're having more help with redirection, and you need more hands on deck for that. So that's something to really point out for memory care versus assisted living. Rental options or buy-in options for assisted living or memory care are available. The social at Cotswold is, of course, rent options, so you don't have to worry about the buy-in situation. Inclusive pricing is an option, but most, again, will do the base rate and then add on to your level of care. And really, this is where I come in. It's how to help families with this decision. A lot of times they're coming to me and something has happened at home. They're not coming to me in good spirits, to say most of the time. It's interesting that actually about 5 to 10% of residents moving to assisted living proactively make the decision. So 90 to 95% are making the decision based on an incident or a crisis. I think that's really powerful to think about. So just, maybe the adult daughter or adult son coming through the door is such a big step. So we need to validate that and understand that this is a big decision. And they probably have some pretty negative connotations about assisted living and memory care. I'd say the vast majority are thinking of facilities. We call that the F word for a lot of reasons. I want it to be a community that you want to come to and enjoy life. Again, usually the adult child has intervened in this. So you want to be really sensitive and understand that this is an emotional decision. So we need to go through that with them and let them grieve the process. I really like to focus on all that they're going to gain. It's about reclaiming your independence. If you can do it, I want you to keep doing it, but know that we're here when you need that extra help. So it gives not only the families, but also the residents a peace of mind that, hey, I can focus on the human experience and refinding my purpose, maybe something that they haven't done in a long time, and know that the care piece is taken care of. It's pretty powerful once they have that transition and they realize all that they're gaining. I always like to bring into have them recall moving from one home to another in the past. Moving in a whole, it doesn't matter where you go, it's not fun. So we want to think about the first few weeks being that transition period, and we love them through it. And that's really how we help families get through this, and we focus on the independence and remaining independent.
Okay, hang on. Sorry.
All right, that's okay. I didn't want to go next slide. So why choose assisted living? I think the main piece with assisted living as well as memory care is going to be that encouragement for social engagement. That's something that a lot of our elder residents so need. And especially during these times, families are finding, they tried to hold out for quite some time during COVID, and now they need solutions. They needed it yesterday. So that's why they need us now, and we need to become the experts and help them navigate next steps. So really focus on reclaiming that independence and knowing, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? That includes your memory as well as your physical. So I want them to get up and walk. I don't want them to be afraid of falling. That's why we have the 24/7 care here. So it really provides that peace of mind for everybody. So focus on enjoying life and let us handle the care. And a good question to always ask families when they're kind of at a crossroads with this is ask them, if not now, then when? It's always good to do it sooner than later. You don't want to wait for a crisis to happen. I am going to share a little bit about why the Social by Thrive Senior Living is a little different. And it's really kind of three pillars that we really look at here at our community. One is the blueprint for senior living. We looked at that we've looked at for decades, and we threw it in the trash can. I call facilities the F word for a reason, because words create worlds to me. And when I think of a facility, I think of a very sterile clinical environment that I would really not want to put my loved one in. And for us, it's a community. It's warm, it's fun, it's a place that you get to live at, and you get to reclaim that independence. Another thing is that really blows a lot of people's minds is we don't focus on great care. I find that a lot of communities will focus on just that care piece. And I feel that we're setting the bar far too low for ourselves if that's all we're looking at. We need to be focusing on the purpose. As long as somebody has breath in their lungs, they have purpose, right? So that's what we need to focus on. The great care is a byproduct of that if we're building meaningful relationships. The third piece that makes us a little different is that we select our team members versus hire employees. So for us, one thing with that is that everybody goes through a 3-step vetted process here. And what that means is that selection process takes a little longer, but we know we have team members here that want to come to work and have the passion to build meaningful relationships. Another piece, of course, is we do all-inclusive pricing. So a lot of places in the area are doing the levels of care and point system. I felt let's simplify that process and let's make a hard decision a little bit easier if we can. So the all-inclusive pricing model is med management, help with ABLs, all meals, housekeeping, laundry, internet, utilities, activities, and transportation. So certainly reach out if you've got any questions. I'm here to answer them, and thank y'all so much.
Thanks very much, Brianna. The statistic about how many people wait till there is a crisis is really sobering, because that's got to be the most difficult time to make these decisions. So, I encourage families that I meet, the earlier you can begin doing research and have a plan, the better. And working with people like this, obviously, it's not what you might expect when you think of, oh, what would happen if I needed one of those places? Clearly there are some beautiful options. So thanks, Brianna. All right, we're going to jump now and invite Ryan Barkley to join us. Ryan Barkley is the Director of Sales at Windsor Run, and we'll be here to talk about continuing care retirement communities. Ryan?
Hey, Rob, thank you so much for having me and let me speak a little bit about CCRCs. And I just want to, now that we're about halfway through, throw a few things out there. I hope that one of the themes that people are hearing is that there are a lot of really good senior living options in the Charlotte area, and it's really all about finding the right fit, right? And we talk about that. I'm sure every community has said that to people who've come through their doors, but it's just about finding the thing that's going to fit for you and your loved ones. And we believe that. So just, know there's a lot of options, and you just have to do your research and figure out what's going to fit for you. And the second thing is, yeah, my headshot showed jet black hair. That was before we had 3 kids. And so I need to update that headshot. So we'll get on that. But many of you have probably heard the term continuing care retirement community, or oftentimes referred to as CCRC. And essentially what that means is that it's a community that offers multiple levels of care or lifestyles. So in many of them, you'll see they offer all independent living, assisted living, memory care, and skilled nursing all in one site. Sometimes the communities will offer assisted living and skilled nursing or independent living and assisted, but typically they're going to offer 2 or more of those different types of lifestyles all in one community. And kind of jumping down to the third point there is that it gives you the flexibility to move once and make that decision. So if you have, if you're worried about having to move again in the future, you can move into the one community. And then if the need arises, you have the ability to transition into the appropriate level of care. Typically in Charlotte or the North Carolina, they are going to be 62 or better, as I've heard many times today. And that is usually the minimum age requirement. And that would be for all people moving. So if you're 62 and your spouse is younger, that would usually all people moving in would need to be at least 62. And generally speaking, our goal is to provide peace of mind to our residents. And so you don't have to look for another place to live, but you're also offering peace of mind to adult children. So most people moving into our communities do have adult children that are actively involved in the process, whether they're driving the process or they're just there to assist and give their opinion. It gives them peace of mind knowing that, hey, we found a great place for you to move, to live and thrive. And if something comes up where you do need to make a move, you can transfer to a different level of care without having to go and locate that when crisis does come up. And then what you're going to find typically at most CCRCs is that there's going to be quite a few amenities right on site. So the idea is that you can get what you need without having to leave the community. So they're going to be typically very rich in those amenities, and they're usually walkable within the community without having to go outside or having to leave the community at all. So things like restaurants, you're going to have swimming pools, fitness centers. It's going to vary based on the community itself, but those are generally included in the monthly cost. Once again, you'll need to research the varying CCRCs in the area to see what the cost structures are, but typically most of the amenities are going to be included, including the dining. Most of them have some kind of a dining plan included right into the monthly payment plans. Most communities also have different types of entrance deposits. You'll see this bullet point and the last one are pretty related in the sense that most have what we call an entrance deposit model, where you would put down money upon moving into the community, and they're going to have varying levels of refundability. So sometimes there's no refund, sometimes you get a 50%, sometimes it's 90%, and kind of everything in between. And that's called an entrance deposit. What that does is that typically is going to offer you a home for life, where if you run into financial distress or your loved ones run into financial distress, they're going to generally either draw off of those or that is going to give them the protection of knowing that they would never need to leave that community for financial inability. So I would verify that last piece with every individual community, but typically at CCRCs, that's very common. And then finally, Windsor Run. So we're located in Matthews, South Charlotte. We're just open a little over 2 years now. We have 318 apartments within the community, and we're in the process of building another building that will offer 113 new independent living apartments. So come next summer, we'll have 431 independent living apartments, and we'll have an up and running assisted living, memory care, and skilled nursing portion of our community. So that will really round us out as a full continuing care community. Rob asked us to speak to availability. It does vary based on the time of year and when a building opens. So for instance, right now we're running at a pretty high occupancy, but we are beginning to reserve apartments for people to move into next year. And that building will, as I mentioned, open up about 113 new apartment homes. And if you're not ready to move now, that's okay. We are going to be building up to 900 over the course of time based on demand. And at Windsor Run, we offer a 90% refundable option and a non-refundable. So if you have a different price point you're looking for, or maybe you're looking for a little bit more apartment and you feel like a non-refundable entrance deposit is better for you, we'd be happy to discuss those options and the differences. We have 3 on-site restaurants. We're getting ready to open a 4th. We have a whole host of amenities. So too many to list right now, but we have virtually everything you'd be looking for, and it's all indoors. You'd never have to walk outside to get to any of the amenities except for things like the putting green and the garden. Our exercise aquatic facilities are all inside, and same with all the social events, all the games. So you can you can quite literally, no matter the weather, walk down to the common space, see your friends, have a meal, and even see the doctor, the on-site doctor. So quite a few things going on there at Windsor Run. Here's a few pictures, and wanted to mention that we are seeing people right now. So if you're interested in setting up a visit, we are setting up very controlled environment tours of the community.
Ryan, thanks for taking time out of your day to share this with us.
Thank you, Rob.
Sounds like the CCRC kind of wraps some of the other things together with a little bit of financial planning involved there too. So a little something for everyone. Next up is a friend of mine named Phil Koch. And Phil is going to talk to something that may be a little bit different than some of you may be used to hearing. I know this was new to me when I first heard of this, but Phil's here to talk about senior retreat and family care homes. Phil, are you with us?
I am. Can you hear me?
We can hear you perfectly. Thanks.
Great. Good to be here. And thank you again, Rob, for putting this all together. Well, just straight from the slides, this is the definition of family care homes. Basically, in a nutshell, through the Federal Disabilities Act many years ago, the federal government allowed the option of family care homes to exist in states, and then state legislatures would then sign it into law. And I think it was 20 some odd years ago, North Carolina signed it into law, which allows you to put a licensed community in a house in actually a rural or urban setting. So family care homes are just that. It's very similar to an assisted living, even memory care, or a cross between the two. And we have staff, both CNAs and med techs, that are around the clock providing care for seniors. In North Carolina, it's different for every state. We can house up to a maximum of 6 residents per house. And that differs by state to state. So who's it appropriate for? Obviously, anybody over 55 years old, at least in the state of North Carolina, people with or without dementia, varying degrees of dementia. Some have, some do not. It just depends on the individual. We do full assessments prior to arrival, as well as TB tests, COVID tests, and a care plan. We have 2 nurses on staff that do all that for us, as well as the caregivers for all family care homes that care for the residents. Why family care homes? It's great. Charlotte is amazing. Like we've heard through the presentations today, we have so many great options out there for everybody, and allows everybody to have the option to choose the best option for them. So family care homes, I think, have the appeal because it's a smaller setting. We have fewer residents. There's, especially with somebody with dementia or even not, it's less at times confusing, more intimate care. We really get to know the residents very well. So do the other families. The other residents get to know each other very well. And frankly, we have very few turnover because the residents or the caregivers that care for the residents are intricately involved in their lives. They're only caring for fewer residents than they would in a larger community. And it allows them to give that extra care. Things like, is the person right-handed or left-handed? Does he have a hearing impairment in one ear and not the other, et cetera, et cetera. It is kind of a cross between assisted living and memory care. And yes, I think it does make a difference, especially in this, God help us all, the pandemic going on, because of the fewer employees and fewer residents. It probably reduces the chance. We've not had any COVID cases in our particular house, but that could happen anywhere. But because there's fewer residents and fewer caregivers, it naturally assumes that is less likely to happen. Cost structure for family care homes. It really depends. So in North Carolina, there's just under 600 family care homes located throughout the state. Most of them are in more rural settings, or many of them are. For example, in Mecklenburg County, where slide was on, I think we have about 26 or 27 in our particular county. Every county is different, but we don't have tiered pricing in most family care homes do not. It's a monthly flat rate, which I think one of the other retirement communities had said earlier, very similar. We assess the person through the assessment process, and if, depending on the room that they choose, one of the bedrooms, and their assessment depends on their rate. Private pay cases that I'm aware of throughout the state of North Carolina, all the way from Asheville that I've seen all the way down to Wilmington, range anywhere from about $3,600 in private pay up to about $8,400 per month. And community fees, one-time non-refundable moving fees, go anywhere from $1,500 to about $8,000. A long-term care insurance, like assisted living and memory care, does pay for family care homes, and we can even process the paperwork on the family's behalf. Some family care homes, more in the rural areas, but some, in urban areas, do accept Medicaid. It just depends, and I would, ask people to reach out and ask the different payment options out there. Medicare does not pay for it. Some VA programs will also pay, not directly to the family care homes, pay to the families for reimbursement for partial payment, depending on the program that's involved. The availabilities, yeah, there we go. There's about 597 family care homes throughout the state as of this month. There's 24 in our county, and really depends. Some rural counties, there's not that many, but there are, amazing benefit because they can be located in a county where maybe a medium or a larger size retirement community wouldn't make sense. But a family care home can exist and prosper and do very well and really benefit the seniors that are in that area. They fall under the group home zoning laws in North Carolina, but licensed and are audited by the same people that license and audit assisted livings and memory care. And unlike, which is really interesting, assisted living and memory care and skilled nursing facilities, in our state, there's no certificate needed that is needed to open one up. So the moment you hit 7 residents or more, you're no longer a family care home. You fall into the category assisted living and you need a certificate of need. All like family care homes, just like assisted living, memory care, and other retirement communities fall under the star rating program, as well as annual audits by state auditors. Current COVID-related opportunities. Opportunity is a tough word, but considering what's going on for everybody right now. But again, less employee turnovers, there's fewer residents, all means a little bit less exposure. And senior retreat in general.
I jumped too quick. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I think we've seen a more of an uptick, frankly, because of the pandemic in our business. And I've heard from other family care homes, because if you're going to move a family member in, there has been some mindset, well, they've moved them into a smaller location. Maybe there's less chance of COVID happening. The reality of it is COVID could hit anywhere, but I guess there is some logic to the concept that there's fewer residents and fewer employees, so less potential exposure. We all go through, and all family care homes like assisted livings go through COVID-19 screening and protocols, including temperature checks, written declarations, verbal questioning of any kind of symptoms prior to arriving, and we quarantine. Usually a 10 to 14-day quarantine period. Senior Retreat in general is a company that I founded after being in the family or the home care business for 13 and a half years before I sold it about 2 years ago. But opened up Senior Retreat about 6 years ago. We have 3 family care homes in South Charlotte, and we really kind of cater towards, we do not take Medicaid, we're private pay, long-term care insurance. We really cater towards very nice neighborhoods where you would never even know. You drive by a family care home in our neighborhood, you would think a family lives there. There's no signs on the lawn. Only up by the door would you ever even notice it, or obviously walking inside would you see that it's a really nice family care home. All of our houses are approximately $600,000 in value, every one of them. So it's just a niche. Some people would flourish in an environment like that. Other people would want a larger community. It really depends on what you want. And we in 6 years of operation, have given out referrals back and forth from many of the people that are on the cast right now, and vice versa. Our pricing is $4,000 for a non-refundable move-in fee, and our rent really varies depending on the assessment and the room selected in the particular house, anywhere from $6.6 thousand to about $8.4 thousand in monthly rent. We have a paid consultant who used to be an internal auditor for the state with 13 years experience that audits our buildings internally, as well as the 2 nurses, and I'm a licensed administrator. We're also starting to franchise based on requests from many people in our state and other states, and we just finalized our NDA, and it's available if anybody's interested. Thank you very much for your time today, everybody. Here's
Thanks,
a little,
Phil.
some of the houses that we have out there, the 3 that we have out there, front of you. Thanks again for your time. Thanks for putting this together, Rob.
Sure. Thanks, Phil. And I've known Phil for a number of years. I've had the opportunity to be on his TV show, Aging with Attitude, which was terrific. And as you know, obviously we're real estate agents. And when I saw the coming soon picture of the middle house of Phil's right here, I did a double take. And I said, that house looks really familiar. And it turns out that was the house that my mother-in-law and father-in-law owned in the late 90s to probably 2012. It was really fun to see that repurposed the way it is now. It's a terrific, amazing, elegant place.
Thank you. Very kind.
So this may seem overwhelming to some, especially if you're thinking, gosh, I've got some parents, or I've even been thinking, what do I do? What are all these different options available to me? How on earth do I sort through all this? Well, the good news is there are resources for that as well. In fact, we're now going to be joined by Todd Vercan from Care Patrol to talk about senior living placement services and how this isn't always just up to you to be out there on an island trying to figure out what to do for yourself. So, Todd, are you ready to join us?
We are.
Excellent.
Good
Are you both
afternoon,
there? Todd and
everybody.
Lori, you're both here. Welcome.
Yeah, we're both here. This is my wife, Lori. We are the owners of Care Patrol of Charlotte. And Rob, that was a great segue, because as I was sitting here thinking and hearing everybody's presentations on the different types of senior living opportunities out there for people, it is very confusing. So, what we want to talk about is, what is senior living placement agency? What do they do? We frequently hear from clients that they had no idea that there was a service out there like we provide. And they're so thankful for the support and guidance we provide them. So what are we doing that makes it special? So you saw from Brianna and Ryan and Phil and everyone on the call that there's so many different options out there. And many people aren't thinking in advance of what they need as far as care or living options in the future. Unfortunately, a lot of our clients reach out to us in a panic. Their mom or dad are being discharged from skilled nursing within 2 days, and they're not safe to go home. And they need to find a home for them. They don't know where to turn, a lot of cases. They don't know if they need memory care. They don't know what community offers what. They don't know the pricing structures. So what senior living placement agencies do is typically they'll get with the client or the family, do a care assessment, understand what their health needs are, what their situation is today as far as living arrangements, what are their desires in a home or a community, what are they looking for as far as their hobbies and such, and lastly, budget is a big part of that. Some people can't afford the CCRC. And there's so many different types of assisted living or memory care communities out there at various different price points. Brianna talked about, some are all-inclusive, others are room plus care, and people get very, very confused. So we come in with the knowledge of the market. We sit down, talk to those people, try to narrow it down to 3-4 different communities that fit what they're looking for, be it budget, care, etc. And try to take that burden off the individual because they're at a point in their life, they're very stressed out. The family is trying to take care of their own life. They're working from home right now, trying to school their kids, and now mom needs to be placed into memory care because they just can't take care of mom anymore because of dementia and the progression of it. So we step in, try to calm them. We're a sounding board for our clients. We offer a voice of reason and compassion, and then just guide them. Help them understand the different types of communities that are out there. Let them know that the state does regulate these and come in and do audits periodically. We provide the state records for the individuals. Most people don't know they're even available and out there. We'll also, in today's day and age, unfortunately, have to advise them on COVID. Are there active COVID cases going on in the community? So we let them know those types of things. Through that process, a lot of the different senior living placement agencies will do different things, but what Care Patrol does is we go home, and pre-COVID, we'd go sit in the home with the client, get to know them, arrange tours to a community, go with them on those tours, again, pre-COVID. Today, it's assisting them on Zoom calls. It's very different, but we've had to adjust and adapt, and I think everybody's done a great job at that. But we provide a concierge service, almost like you, Rob, like a realtor in a sense, helping guide them to the next appropriate form of safer living options for them. The agency, a lot of times will be paid by the placement agency. Many are also compensated purely by being a referral partner to a community. So our services as Care Patrol are of no cost to the seniors and families that we service. We provide them a number of options. We let them choose which community they like, and we'll ultimately get compensated for our time by the community that we place that individual in. So it's a great option for the family, knowing that it's a free service to them. And it just, again, it's another option that takes the burden off the family. We also provide resources. A lot of times we get calls, probably unfortunately more so than not, of Medicaid cases. They just don't have the money. Instead of just walking away from that individual, we try to help them in any way we can. We'll provide them resources. We'll provide them elder law attorneys if necessary to help them through the Medicaid process. We'll let them know of specific communities that might take Medicaid straight off. There are communities out there as well that have a Medicaid spend down. So you go into the community, you pay private pay for 3, 6, 9, 12, 24 months, and then ultimately you can stay in that community and Medicaid will compensate the difference. So there's a lot of things out there that people just don't know in that time of panic, of chaos, of uncertainty. We just come in with a compassionate heart to try to help them, guide them through that process. And realtors. So Care Patrol, our territory, we serve from Statesville, North Carolina, all the way down to Rock Hill, as far east as Lexington, North Carolina, all of Charlotte Metro. We've got a team of 5 now. We're on call. When that phone rings, whether it be 10 o'clock at night, we'll take it, and we're going to help that family in need and start reaching out for resources to help guide them. That's really just what a senior agency does, right? I mean, again, the communities do a fantastic job, but a lot of times the individual doesn't know which community to go to. We help guide them.
Todd, thank you so much for sharing about that. I know that one of the more heartbreaking things that I will hear from clients, in what I'm doing, is that they've had a family member that had just that happen, and they rushed and they had to place them somewhere, and then the family member got sick or was unhappy or worse. And to know that there are professionals out there that do what you do, that there are senior placement professionals, is really truly a tremendous asset to people in today's world. So thank you.
Well,
for
thank
sharing
you, Rob.
what you guys
Appreciate
do.
you putting this together.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
All right, well, we are going to take just a minute here, and if you are watching this online or if you are in the Zoom room, I'm going to stop the screen sharing right now and would be open to taking questions. So I would ask that if you're in the Zoom room, go ahead and unmute yourself. If you would like to go ahead and ask us a question, and I'm looking there, see if we have any already written. Okay. So if you have a question, please go ahead and unmute yourself and let us know what that question is. I have a couple that are being handed in now, and Amanda is collecting any more that show up on Facebook.
Hey, Frank, it's Donna Schaefer with Care Patrol. Hey, Frankie, I had a question for your, and I might have missed it. I was distracted early, but your pricing, did you have a range of pricing for your homes?
Frankie, are you still there? I can go back to that. And
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
I was muted, so I didn't make a lot of noise. Yes, we range from 290, and we can go all the way up with to about 500, depending on the square footage size. We also offer in that pricing basements with elevators in them for multi-generational living.
Great. Sounds like a great product. Look forward to coming out and visiting you soon.
Yep. Hours are 10 to 6, Monday through Saturday, 12 to 5 on Sunday.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm ready to sign up myself.
Come on, it's a lot of fun.
I tell you, if you've been to the clubhouse and some of the places like this, especially Crestwind, it's like a country club.
Well, the HOA fees are so reasonable. You said $249 a month, right?
$149 a month. Yep.
Wow, it's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right, we've got a couple that have been handed in. Did I hear somebody else speak up? Okay. We had one question that came up, and I'm going to pass this to potentially Todd or Lori, and I can pipe in, or any of the other presenters. What options might be available if my wife and I need different levels of care but want to stay together? That seems to be a tough question, and one that I know gets put to me every so often. Todd and Lori, you're muted. Oh, we'll try to get them unmuted.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, so we have several options, and they are communities that have a combination of assisted living and memory care, and sometimes independent living on the same campus.
Mhm.
So we have that, and actually I'm working with a client right now who's moving his parents from Illinois, and we need an option where mom can have the opportunity to be placed in a memory care environment while dad is in an assisted living. So we just try to make sure that we focus on a campus that offers both options to the family.
Mhm. Sounds like we may have at least one of those on with us, right, Carrie? Does that apply to your community?
It does, Rob. So we have independent living, assisted living, and memory care apartments all on our same campus. Sometimes a couple may start together in independent living, and sometimes one or both may have a change in condition and need to move over to assisted living together as a couple. Sometimes we have one that remains in independent living, one may go to assisted living, or one may go to memory care. And that way the independent living resident, all the buildings are interconnected. They can get to, the independent living resident can get to their loved one either in assisted living or memory care, share meals, share the day with them. And then when they are needing a break themselves, they can return back to their independent living apartment. So that's the beauty of a campus that actually offers several levels of care. And again, easy access. We are a smaller community. We're a family-owned business, so we look at things a little bit differently in perspective. So again, that's a great question that came up about what do you do in that situation. So I think there's a lot of options that you can choose from.
Thanks, Carrie.
Hey, Phil. I'm just, as a family care home, have you ever had an option or a family kind of husband and wife move in together?
Yeah, it's actually, I'm unmuted. I want to make sure.
You are
Yes.
unmuted. We can hear you.
Actually, it's funny. Last Friday, a married couple moved into a large master suite in one of our houses. And that's exactly what happened. She needs a little bit less care. He needs a lot more care. And they were looking for a location. And there, again, I mean, this group that we have all together is an amazing different choices out there, but they were looking for something where they could live in the same room together with different levels of care. And we were able to get them into a master suite that they love with their own private bathroom. And it's worked out very well.
Wow. So family staying home yet having care. I bet that family's relaxed a lot more, their children perhaps, than they were a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, you know what's kind of interesting is this particular couple also knew the prior owner of the house. So they had been in the house before it became a family care home. It's a small world, you know.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there are two real estate questions came up. So I'll answer one and then see if we take any more. One of them is, do I have to sell my house before I move into one of these communities? That is a question that we get all the time. And I'll speak to that. The answer to that is actually my favorite answer to any question, which is it depends, of course, on the individual situation. Some communities require an upfront deposit that is not negotiable, that you can't move in until you have that liquidity, which means that some people must liquidate their house before they can move. Some involve purchasing a real estate, which means we have to time that very carefully. And in some cases, there are options to make a move and sell your house after you move. I've done entire seminars on downsizing and selling your house after you make your next move into a community. Is there any one of our professional partners who would like to speak to that and how it works in their community?
Hey, Rob, I can pipe in here. And I was laughing when you said it depends, because it's just so true. Every situation is different. And once again, it's so good that there's so many options out there. You take Windsor Run, for example. We have some people that are just looking to move sooner than later, or they want to move in before their home is sold. So for our community, for instance, they would put down 10% of the entrance deposit, sign a promissory note, and then the balance of that promissory note is typically paid after the home is sold. And when it's sold by Rob, it's usually sold at a high price very quickly.
Thanks, Ryan. I know that a number of the people that I've worked with just absolutely love that option, simply because selling a house involves letting other people into your house, strangers, the stress of it, in today's world, the germs of it. And what we've found is that when people make the move first, they typically get significantly more money for their house and sell it quicker than they ever would have being in it. So that's a terrific option there. Do anybody else want to speak to anything specific? I know, Frankie, I know there's some unusual or some different potential financing options when you're buying real estate.
Right. So we offer a couple of ways. First of all, with $5,000 minimum down payment, we'll give your customers 5 months to get their home sold. We won't start building or go to design. We will give them 5 months with an option if they don't get their home sold. But of course, the Charlotte market, that'll never happen, right? We can give them an additional up to 6 more months to get it sold. 10% down would waive those, waive the contingency. We also, on the financing side, we offer a reverse mortgage, a HICM plan, where you can kind of use that plan to kind of get around selling your home ahead of time. I don't speak to mortgages as much, or should, because I'm not licensed to, but we have those alternatives also. So yeah, 5,000 down.
Sure. Thanks, Frankie. The reverse mortgage option is particularly interesting. I know we talk to people about that all the time. There seems to be a perception in the market that a reverse mortgage is a way to draw equity out of a house you live in to pay your bills, when in fact it's a very, a very elegant financial planning tool. If you use it properly, you can actually buy a house with a reverse mortgage by putting down only a portion of the value of the house and not having a mortgage payment. So if that's something that anyone would like more information on, please call me or reach out to me. We would love to explain the specifics of that. Let's see if we have any other questions that have come up. And the last question I've got in front of me is, I hear spring is the best time to move. Should I wait until then? Actually, this is one of the few questions I'm not going to answer. It depends on. The answer is no, you should not wait until then. What I can tell you right now is that in the Charlotte market, we have a historically low inventory right now. House prices have gone up on average over 12% just in the last year. And we are frankly seeing things that we don't expect to see now. Prices rising faster and multiple bids driving prices up faster than we would expect. A balanced market where you see it's not a seller's market, it's not a buyer's market, is at about 6 months of inventory. If I read this morning's report right, we have just dropped to 1.1 months of inventory in Charlotte, which means if you want to buy a house, there are some very strategic things that your realtor needs to do in order to effectively help you win a bid. And if you're interested to find out what some of those things are, please call us and let us know. So definitely don't want to wait. Could it get better? It's possible, but that's like saying, I'm really mad I got the 95 on that algebra test. God, if I wish I could have gotten the 100. Sure, 95 is still a pretty good score. So that's about where the real estate market is right now. Well, we are coming close to wrapping up here. I wanted to just ask one last time, see if we had any additional questions that popped up, and it doesn't look like it. So I just want to take a minute to thank the professionals that have joined us today, and encourage anybody that's watching this on the recording, reach out to these individuals. Their contact information is on each of their slides. Look them up on Facebook. Engage with us, ask questions, find out what the options are. We would be more than happy to help you. All right. Thanks all for participating, and we're going to sign off now.
Hey, one
Thank you,
second.
everybody.
We may have had another question.
I just wanted to answer Donald Harris. He had put in the chat. I know he saw my response, but in case anybody else had the same question, he wanted to know if they could see a replay of this meeting. And I just wanted to let you all know it will be on Facebook and YouTube by tomorrow morning. And if you need me to email any links, you can just email me at csm@thewalktergroup.com. That email is in the chat group messages if you need it. So thanks.
Thank you
so much,
again,
Amanda.
Rob. We really appreciate you inviting us in on this platform. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. You all have a great day.
Thank you.
Rob, bye.